And hello, good people of the internet. It is I, Tommy Kelly, and this is Adventures in Woo. And in this episode, I want to talk a bit about something I've talked about before on the video, the appreciation video. And it's something I just want to enlarge a bit on and talk a bit more around. And it's this idea of within this kind of weird times, or this kind of semi-apocalypse that we're going through, that we should spend our resources, our finances, our time, and that kind of thing on stuff that we would like to see be in existence when all of this is over. Now, obviously, from my point of view, being a creative and being an artist in this, I'm very kind of aware of how much I am kind of dependent on people to be able to continue doing what I'm doing. And I have the greatest kind of community around me. They're just wonderful people, from the Patreon people to Discord people, to the Facebook people, and to people who just kind of, send me emails and, nice thoughts and all of this type of thing. It's wonderful. And over the last couple of days, I've had a number of people who, after my last video, were kind of panicking about the future because things were all a bit up in the air. And, people sent me some loves, people sent me some money, people sent me, all the best wishes, some good juju and magic from all around the world. And it was lovely, and I'm massively appreciative of it. And there's kind of, in a sense, when you get that kind of outpouring of love from people, and particularly when people send you cash or send you money, there's a part of me that has this Catholic guilt that feels that I need to give something in return. And I mean, I think that's a good thing. I don't think it's a bad thing. I mean, Catholicism's not all bad, like as much as I tend to say it is. But taking something like the Gibo rune, or the giver from the 47s, which is pretty much the same kind of energy. It's just the idea of that when something is given, and when you give something, you're getting into a contract with the person to have an exchange or a sort of reciprocal kind of relationship with them, so that if if someone gives you something, then there's kind of an onus on you to return something. Like if someone gives you a birthday present, then there's kind of an implication or that you have to give them something back. And so it's just kind of when you just kind of put up that whole thing of, here's PayPal donations or something like that, there's a part of me that feels a bit dirty about the whole thing, and a bit kind of, just not right. So what I thought I would do, what it would be a better kind of a thing, in the kind of whole thing of if you want to support me, and I'll talk a bit about supporting other artists in a minute, but just let's talk about me for a minute. So what I thought I would offer something in return for people who were in a situation and wanted to send me monies, just to keep going for, the next duration. And that was what I put together a package, and I'm calling it the Corona Bundle. And it's basically, now that the Game Crafter has stopped making decks, and that the Amazon has kind of slowed way down, if you try to order any of the print-on-demand books from Amazon, there's like a 3-week waiting list, which I assume could get extended out depending on how long this goes on. That I'd offer the digital versions of these books to people, so that and the deck and stuff like that, so that at least people are still able to interact with all this kind of stuff. So I put a package together, which is the Grimoire as a PDF, the digital deck, which is the printable version of the deck, the Unifying Sigil, the 4 Devils. So that's kind of the 47s things. Then the next bit is all my comics, again in PDF. So you have them, the Holy Numbers, Great Work 1 and 2, Down, Zara Rogers, Complete Road Crew, For Sale, a couple of others. So that's that's pretty much all my comics. There's a few 1-pagers, 2-pagers here and there that just aren't in it because I forgot to put them in it. I've only thought about them now. And then there's an EP I did a couple of years ago, which I really, really, really enjoy. And it was like kind of the pinnacle of my music kind of career, and it kind of ended my music career. And it's like something I'm very proud of that people just didn't enjoy or didn't like, but it's exactly what I wanted. It was like very much a fulfillment, a perfect fulfillment of my vision from what I would set out to do and how it finished. So I'm really happy with it. So I'd like more people to hear it. And so it's a pay as you want. So it's basically, you have to pay at least a cent, and that's just to kind of get it out of the free zone, because when you do things free, it's kind of weird because you get an awful lot of people who just download stuff and then don't care about it. But at least if you put in 1 cent, it means that it kind of bumps you up into the, you have to actually pay something, so you have to have an account, all of these things, and it's a bit businessy and stuff like that, but it's how it is. But like, it's a cent. But just so you know that unless I think, it's 40 or 50 cent or something like that, I still don't get any money, because PayPal, like if you send someone €1 and PayPal take 40 cent of that. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. But I thought in the kind of reciprocal thing of that, if you wanted to help me, then you could send me some money and get some stuff in return. And also, if you're in a situation where you're also not able to have much money, but you still want all these things, you can get it for a cent. So everyone kind of wins. My Catholic guilt is kept in place. The Pope will still love me, and Jesus will think I'm a good guy. So the links will be in the show description below. It's a PayHip link, and you have to pay VAT if you're in the EU, but blame the government. That's not my fault. So just a kind of more general thing about this whole idea of supporting that which we want to keep about after. And obviously it's very obvious when it comes to artists and say musicians, who are, you can play them on Spotify, but I think only you two get money on Spotify, going by what I read on Reddit. But you certainly can support people in a number of ways that's not necessarily financial. Of course, the financial thing is a great thing, buy people's art, buy their CDs if that's the thing with music, or whatever, how you can sort of buy books, buy the actual books, buy comics, buy prints, all of these type of things. But there's plenty of other things you can do to help people as well, like support them in by getting the word out there, like sharing posts, liking posts, and telling people about the artists you're into, sharing videos, commenting, leaving good reviews, leaving good ratings. Like if you love a podcast, do leave the iTunes review, because that does make a hell of a difference to people. Like it bumps them up where more people can see them. And it's same with the books on Amazon. If you can leave people good, your favorite authors, leave them a 5-star review. If you can leave a few words as well of review, that helps better. That keeps it, rather than just the 5 stars, whatever. Getting an actual review does help all these out. So even those little things that you don't think matter much, the retweet does really help. Really does help people get the word out and stuff like that. But also, not just artists and not just creative people, not just musicians or photographers or whoever it is. Like, I kind of have this notion of, have a bit more kind of think locally, act globally, that whole thing. But like, rather than trying to get, maybe the book on Amazon, maybe get it in your local shop, your local bookshop if you can. Try to keep them in business. Or if you have a local kind of supermarket that's more locally owned and a kind of a bigger chain store, maybe buy the stuff there. So to keep, the people who are going to struggle that wee bit more in these kind of times, to keep them afloat. Now I know that's not always practical and it's not always good, because I know if I was ordering a book in the bookshop here in 10, then they wouldn't have any of the books that I would be wanting to read at all. It's just not that, why would they? I live in a very small town. So if I was going to order a book in there, they're essentially just going to order it off Amazon, get it delivered, and charge me a couple of extra quid for, for doing that. So I mean, I understand it's not always the, a good thing to do, or good sense thing to do. But if you can, buy the books that you see there, or buy the magazines and buy all that kind of thing. And like anyone who's local to you, or support your friends, support all the things. But I suppose there's the whole thing then you're getting into, you should support people you don't know too. I don't know. I think you understand the spirit of what I'm saying without, I suppose, getting too much into the actual technicalities of these things. So again, it's just the whole idea of have a look around at what you would like to see to continue to be about when this is all over. Be that art, be that local kind of business, be that relationships, or whatever it is. And then foster that and encourage that. If you can with your money, if you can't with your time, and or with your social media presence, or whatever it is you can offer, and do all of these things. And of course I'm going to be doing these things as well, so that when this is all over, all of the good things still exist. So I hope you forgive me for the kind of sales pitch in this one, but such it is. And good people of the internet, until our next time, be safe, be kind, and be well.